And Francisco, talk about a little bit, some of the more invested character work that's in some of the dances.
Yeah, well, it takes a certain amount of acting preparation also, and I think the first thing that comes to mind right now is the role that I do in Company B, Tico Tico, which is you really have to invest some acting preparation into it, because I don't think I could do that dance physically without any acting at all, because that dance commands you to be in that character completely, 100%. Otherwise, I don't think I'd make it through. It's so physically demanding and challenging that you really have to be inside that role and inside that character's head.
Right.
So you have to have an approach. You have to know what the character's background is.
And does Paul give you a little bit of information about the characters, the story that you're dancing, or does he leave it up to you to decide?
Sometimes he does. I think I'm coming up with this analogy totally on the spot, but sometimes it's like I feel like I'm wearing a blindfold and he's just kind of nudging me in a direction, but I'm getting there on my own.
Right, because if he told you everything, it would be so obvious that it really wouldn't be.
Right.
I mean, some directors do that, but from what I remember with Paul, he didn't want to give you too much information, because part of that process, the path that you were doing, is making it personal.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's one of the best things about dancing for this company, is that both Paul and Betty have a lot of respect for us as people and our experiences, and they allow us to have our voice. And if they see that we're totally I've seen Paul completely no, you're doing this all wrong, and then be and give you a little hint.
So Francisco and Parisa, let's talk a little bit about being on the road. Many people are familiar with Beyonce and Christina Aguilera and all these people going on these massive tours and bringing the dancers, and they go from city to city. But with a company like Paul Taylor, it's much the same. Instead of the dancers being the backup act, you are the main event, and it's very similar. You get on a bus or a plane and you go from city to city, and you're staying in hotels. And it's very different from most people's lives, where they go home to their own bed every day. So if you could just talk about a little bit the routine and what it's like being on the road. So I'll start with you, Parisa.
I feel like I have a nice balance between the road and New York. In fact, I feel really lucky in that when I'm getting a little tired of the city and frustrated, I get to leave, and I get to see the world, I get to meet new people, and then when I'm just starting to miss home, I get to come back to New York, and I want to be here. So it's fun that way. It's hard being on the road in terms of just the simple things, like sleeping and eating when you want to, and where you want to, and what you want to,
And you're about to go to Israel, is that right?
We're going to Israel, we're going to Istanbul, we're going to Italy.
Oh my goodness. I'm sure you won't have problems eating in Italy.
I think
Israel is different though. Israel is, you have to look a little harder, but I'm sure the food is amazing there as well.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
And what's your daily routine, as far as you wake up, you rehearse at certain times and you perform? Do you do a rehearsal every day you perform?
Yeah,
we run the program in reverse order in the theater. So
why reverse?
It's for the technician. It's for the technical crew and the stage manager, so they can. So the last dance in the rehearsal is the first dance that we perform.
Okay.
So it's easier for them to set up and get things going. So if there's a white floor in the opening dance, then
it's ready to go.
Right. It's just there.
Oh, that's an interesting little tip.
For instance,
in case you're planning a tour.
with a white floor.
Yeah.
Or with this big giant set.
So Francisco, if you just bring us through your daily routine from, when, say you go to Italy and you wake up, and then talk about the days off you may have and what you do.
Cool. Well, if it's show day, try to get up and do something physical, like yoga or breathing or meditate, because I think it's important to get started. This is my instrument. I gotta get it tuned.
Even if you're not a dancer, you need to do that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. People. John Byrne audiences.
Yes.
No. Yeah. So I get started with that and try to eat a big breakfast and then go to rehearsal, warm up before rehearsal on my own, do the rehearsal, eat dinner, maybe take a nap, and then the show. And basically that's pretty much it. There's a lot of other details in there, but and then hopefully after the show there's some restaurant that's open to eat.
And you all go out together, or
In Italy we do, and whenever we're overseas we really stick together, which is really nice. We be like a family. In the States though, it's kind of like we all have such different
right. When you've been together for like 4 or 5 hours in the day, you kind of want to go off and have your life.
Yeah.
And we can speak the language.
It's like brothers and sisters.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool. Welcome back. One of the things that I remember in my life as being the most profound moments was on September 11th of 2001. I was about 20 years old. I was dancing with Paul Taylor too, and we were in upstate New York and teaching a class. Somebody said, "Oh, come, you gotta watch the TV, the World Trade Center is falling down." So all of my fellow dancers who were teaching this class, we went into this room and we were watching a little TV and saw the Twin Towers fall. And I was devastated because I just, it scared me, and all I could think about was my family, my friends, and the world coming to an end. And the Paul Taylor, the dance mistress, she says, "Okay, well, go ahead and get ready because we're going to go to rehearsal and perform tonight." And I was like offended and shocked because I thought, oh my God, like, you know, we're in trouble. But 10 years later, or 7 years later, looking back at that, I really, I can understand why she did that, because I remember she said, "This is what we do, this is what we're dancers, this is how we express ourselves." And I knew it was September 11th and I was so worried, but we had to focus on this dance, and it was just such a liberating moment because we were in these beautiful pastel blue and pink, you know, costumes, and we were
Oh, this is Airs?
Airs. We were dancing Airs, and I was with the company. We were dancing on that evening in this dark, dark theater. And I just remember it just being such a magical and profound moment because outside everybody was freaking out, and then we were like this little family working together and making this very poetic story, and the most beautiful dance, which I'll put on the screen now. And I just remember feeling like very healed from that moment. So when I reflect on September 11th, that's what my mind goes to. And I understand the importance of why Susan McGuire, who was our director, you know, why she persevered. And